I'm popping back on. Great question. From my last video, I just did an energy update for today. And the question is, what's the difference between quantum imagining versus linear thinking? So, linear thinking is where you hop to the end and you say, I need money. I need this money because I want to build these 10 businesses. And if I had those 10 businesses, then I could pay all my bills. And if I could pay all my bills, I'd be so happy. Life would be wonderful. And I could feed my family. I could feed third world countries. I could do all of these things. And so in your mind, you put these steps together as to how exactly you will create that business. Now, I know this well because, of course, one of my jobs as a vice president of a bank and a commercial lender and a financial planner and handling life insurance, stock brokering, and all of that stuff is that we were taught very specifically how to create that business plan. We were taught how to look at your entire life and plan it all the way out until your death and make sure that you leave no person, no child, no individual, no business broke. However, it is funny because the concept die broke is actually very, very pertinent. If you choose, you are going on the 3D level and you are wanting or believing that you will not evolve into a 5D individual who has the ability to prolong life as long as they shall wish. So, when you are thinking quantum, everything comes from the heart feeling. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? So you have to think about life from a totally different perspective. The first problem people have is getting into and staying into the now moment. So, you're fantasizing about crystalline waters and you're fantasizing about, oh, you want this huge $40 million mansion on an island of its own to look out over the whales and the dolphins. Well, in the old thinking, you would be like, I need that $40 million mansion that is located on such and such island so that I can experience joy and feel fulfilled. That's linear thinking. Quantum thinking is going into your heart, dropping in and going, oh, the feeling of an expansive room where I am one with the dolphins and the whales and the beauty of the energies, free to create whatever I wish every second of the day, and finding the joy in my heart when I watch them in peace and harmony. How could I go about getting that enjoyment and not attaching to the steps that I need to take to get there, but allowing universe to drop them for you to pick up or to find? And it's going to happen in a way that you may not have thought of in your brain because your mind is controlled by 3D, your heart is expansive, controlled by spirit, source, universe. And universe, as I said in one of my videos, is just wanting to please you. So, again, using myself as an example, I love water. I love to swim. In July of 2019, I was told not to go into the pools. And I swam every day up until that point. And of course, not only was there the chlorine in the pools, but of course, all of the other sloughing that was happening because of you know what. And sure enough, I decided that my healing abilities and my what I knew I could do were so far beyond that I didn't have to listen to my guides. So I was like, okay, yeah, forget it, I'll be fine. I plopped into the pool and I got the worst cold I had ever gotten since that January, when most likely I as well had gotten the virus, which was simply a cold, but a rough cold. So, all of these years, I have gone by going, oh, I just want to get into the water. I just want to get into the water. I just want to get into the water. But instead of being disappointed and upset that I couldn't get into the water, I kept telling myself, well, this is a great time to really start to work on stretching your muscles on the land, doing things that you haven't done before, getting out into nature in different ways. Because that was my mode of exercise. I would have never hiked because all I would have done is go swimming because it's my choice. So all those years go by, and I kept hearing no, 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 no. And in this last set of having to be moved around and go to these different places, of course, I was blessed with a place to stay. And I was like, why am I going way over there to that crazy place out in the middle of nowhere? But it then dawned on me, I was like, oh my goodness, that place has an outdoor pool. And I was like, yeah, but it's probably chlorine and I can't go in it. And I heard you can go in it now. I'm like, I could go in it now. I was so excited. I mean, I hadn't even gotten there yet. And I was over the moon. You couldn't have given me a better gift if you wanted to, right? Because my heart was jumping. So literally, when I arrived at the place and I asked, they had both an indoor and an outdoor pool, both of them heated because it's still colder weather at points here. They had said, oh, the outdoor pool is salt water. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that was the best gift ever. So being able to get back into the water was just such a gift from the heavens. I didn't need a huge mansion on an island in a place. I didn't need all of these other things. Everything that I needed was provided for me at the time. And the joy that I had getting into that water every single solitary day is just something you cannot put a monetary balance, money to. So as you're creating your new lives in the quantum world, again, you're going for the happy feeling. What brings you joy? What gives you excitement? So let's say your excitement is your heart wants to work with children who have physical handicaps be able to interact with horses specifically, and specifically horses that have been rescued because of their beautiful, beautiful personalities. And horses, may I say, have toroidal fields around them that are so astronomical. They know so much more than we do. So instead of turning around to yourself and saying, well, I'll only be happy when I get that child on that horse, and in order for me to do it, somebody has to come up and provide that opportunity for me. That's linear thinking. Expansive quantum imagining is where you turn around and you go, ooh, I feel in my heart how much joy I would have with the ability to put that child in front of that animal in a setting. And if you are working from that quantum field, again, the joy doesn't have to be the rough running of the business and finding all the people and watching the horrible things that go on as you are bringing in the rescues. It doesn't have to be any of that, because next thing you know, universe plops you where your heart was. All of a sudden, one day, you're out feeding a bunch of goats in some location, and a bunch of kids come up, and you have a few hours of the best interaction because universe heard your heart. And by accident, all of a sudden, someone comes into your business field and they're like, oh, you wouldn't believe it. This property is being sold. The owners have a lease. They kind of want to train somebody. So make sure that you aren't telling universe how it is you want your quantum experience to arrive. Never put blinders on yourself. The world is limitless. You can have anything your heart desires. And again, as I've said before, universe wants to please you, but it will absolutely take away those things from you that no longer serve you. So I hope that helps. Quantum imagining from the heart, linear thinking from the mind. Linear thinking 3D gone. Use your heart and allow the universe to flow through you. It wants you happy, in love with everything you do, giving yourself the care that you need, and knowing that you are one with all. Love you.